Yan, pero yung susunod nyo, medyo matagal pa naman yata yung susunod nyo, dapat marami na kayo. Si Warren, nasaan?
Nag-chat na po
Live na, ma'am.
Live na. Okay, sige. Ano muna tayo, mag-share muna tayo para mas maraming makaano sa atin, makapanood sa atin. Yan, okay. Wait lang. Share na. Yan, okay. Magandang hapon sa inyo mga ka-Pix Pro. It's Friday once again. Magandang hapon sa iyo, VP Zaidi.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Ruby. Kumusta po?
Ay, mabuti naman, mabuti. Grabe, no? Na-realize ko, February na pala. Ang bilis lang, di ba, VP Zaidi, ano lang, parang kakabati lang natin sa isa't isa ng maligayang Pasko ngayon. Malapit na yung maligayang araw ng mga puso. Grabe.
May plano ka na ba, Ma'am? Nako.
Well, wala akong plano. Ang plano ko kasi yung kinabukasan kasi birthday yun ng anak ko kinabukasan. So, yung plan.
All in
Yeah.
one.
Right. Ayan, so mag-hi muna tayo sa ating mga viewers, no? Si John Waldneth Castillo, good afternoon po. Laging present ito eh. Si John Waldneth at saka si Joy Kenneth Salabiasong. Good afternoon and good day. All yan, magandang hapon sa inyo. All right. So, kumusta ka naman, VP Zaidi?
Medyo busy Friday. Ubus na energy natin.
Ganun ba? Ako, paano pa naman yan? Sa cybersecurity, walang weekend at
Weekend.
walang tulugan, di ba? Ganun daw sa sa cybersecurity, di ba? So,
The whole ICT naman, Ma'am.
pero basta ang masaya, masaya, ano ba yan ang importante masaya tayo sa ating ginagawa at nakakatulong tayo sa ating
True.
bansa, 'di ba? 'Yun ang importante. Ayan. Oh, hello sa ating executive director. Good afternoon sa lahat. Malakas pa ang ulan dito sa Moalboal, Cebu.
Wow.
Nako. Mag-ingat po kayo dyan. Ibig, Kuya Primo, at sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan sa Cebu. Iingat po
May
kayo.
bagyo ata sa
May bagyo.
Visayas, Mindanao area.
Si Basyang, according dun sa isang nabasa ko, walang heavy winds but it might bring heavy flood.
Wow.
Kaya mag-iingat po. Todo ang ingat natin, lalo na po sa mga ngayon ay inaapektuhan ng bagyong Basyang. Yan. Okay. So VP Zaidi, sabi ni Emmanuel Corpus, good day po. Good day din sa iyo. At si Raniel Santiago. Dahil may dumarating na mga tao. At hello din kay MJ Barin. Good afternoon po. Nakita ko po si Sir Angel last Business World Cybersecurity Conference noong January 29. Wow! Sana nag-picture kayo at na-post natin dito sa ating Facebook. Okay? Okay, VP Zaidi, may nakikita ka ba ng mga nagpapa-hello dyan?
Yes, Madam. I think it's rainy din sa area ni Founder Jello Kiamco and also some greetings from Tix Promena and some our friends from ASCOT Cybersecurity Alliance or Tix Pro Junior
Yes.
Affiliate kay Ma'am Danica.
VP Zaidi, si Danica Jane Ramirez, siya ang president ng Pixpro Junior
Oh,
sa
wow.
ASCOT, oo, Cybersecurity Alliance natin. Napakasipag din at napakagandang binibini. Si Lenelio naman, siya ang president natin sa MENA, Middle East and North Africa region natin of our first global chapter.
Wow.
Oh, 'di ba? Ayan. At si Carmelo Griarte, watching from Legazpi,
Diyos
Albay. Diyos
mabalos.
Mabalos. Ayan, okay. At syempre kahit wala pa dito yung mga kasama mong mga officers, ay mag-hi tayo sa lahat ng mga officers ng Cavite chapter, our newest chapter na kaka-activate lamang nitong January 13, tama ba? Ayan. So hello sa inyo. Nihintay namin kayo ni Zaidi. Nihintay namin kayo, okay? Ayan. So, si Mikaela Lacanilao, good afternoon po mga ka-Pix Pro from UMAC. Oh, hello Mikaela. Yan, ito masipag din ang ating mga estudyante from University of Makati, no? Talagang lagi din tayo may mga audience dyan. Ating mga ka-Pix Pro from University of Makati. Yan. Oo nga, nasa Qatar si Press Lanelio. Hello sa iyo dyan. Merong sabi si Gairo Amadeus, gusto ko po mag-aral ng cybersecurity as a third courser. Saan po magandang online platform po sana? Yeah, Gairo, maraming mga resources online that you can search. Ang unang muna siguro tingnan mo lahat and from there, isipin mo kung ano yung gusto mong track ng cybersecurity, will it be the governance, risk of compliance, or sa security operations. So maraming mga online na mga courses available. At ang ano lang yun, tingnan mo muna lahat. Okay?
Yep.
And meron din tayo, of course, sa CyberSec dito sa Pix Pro. Although, ang offer natin is for fresh grads. Na fresh grads pa lang. Pero, mas tune in lang, magkaroon na rin tayo.
Yes po, and maybe to add on that, I'm not sure kung ano yung naging first course mo, but last year or early January, nagkaroon ng ISAP Cavite. You can check on their Facebook page, wherein we talk about different areas or domains in cybersecurity na pwede mong itackle as your starting path. Napakalawak kasi, yun nga nabanggit ni Ma'am Ruby. You can go to GRC, may tinatawag pa tayong blue team, white team, etc. But also there are areas na nandun ka sa developers. Kayo yung gumagawa or yung technology owners. So kung magaling ka magbenta, magaling ka mag-sales talk, pwede ka pa rin makapasok sa cybersecurity as a pre-sales or a design, part of the design team. So like me, I'm part of the design team or a pre-sales team from our company. We are helping organizations address their risk and remediate them basically. No? So madami. So platform, I myself learned through Udemy, si Dion. You can check with Dion. Napakaganda ng courses ni Dion. On point ang explanations niya. And you can also check with our Viber community ng ISC2 Philippine chapter. In a way, we have a still ongoing free self-paced certified in cybersecurity course na pwede mo ding i-check. In a way, mas maintindihan mo ng libre yung mga area ng cybersecurity para later on mag-focus ka on the path na gusto mong kunin or babagay sa personality mo din.
Yeah, tama, tama. Okay, and speaking of cybersecurity, ang topic natin for this afternoon is very exciting. Actually, kung maalala ko nga, tinanong pa kita ko, ano ba yung CII? 'Di ba? Kasi medyo hindi ako familiar doon. No? Okay. So, anyway, mamaya na ulit tayo mag-shout out,
Mhm.
no? At mag-greet sa ating mga mga kasama. Teka muna, si Warren, ito si Warren, no? Di ba ito yung kasama mo isa? Si Warren Tupas? Iba ba yan?
Yes.
Hindi
Po,
yan.
though
Si
Facebook
VP
kasi
Warren
minsan
ba yan?
nagkakapare-parehas ng names eh.
Okay, kala ko si VP Warren ng Cavite chapter ito eh. Dapat andi dito siya. Okay, hello sa iyo. Alright, may ayan si two. Anyway, sige. So, punta muna tayo sa ating discussion proper for this afternoon, no? And no, we will introduce the concept of critical information structure as defined in the NCSP 2023-2028. Okay, and to give us that topic, of course, let me introduce to you our speaker for this afternoon. Okay, he is an enterprise and solutions architect and specializing in designing secure, scalable, and business-aligned technology architectures. With strong facts, a focus rather on cybersecurity, he integrates frameworks such as NIST, CSF, ISO 27001, CIS controls, and Zero Trust into end-to-end enterprise solutions that strengthen organizational resilience. And as an InfoSec evangelist, he helps bridge the gap between technical design and security governance, guiding both technical teams and business leaders in navigating modern cyber risks. He previously contributed to USAID's Beacon project, advancing secure digital infrastructure and improving connectivity and cyber awareness in underserved regions. Ladies and gentlemen, the VP for trainings and events of Pixpro Cavite chapter, VP Mark Zaidi Serdon. Welcome to Kwentuang Cybersecurity.
Thank you, Ma'am Ruby,
Yeah, bago ko
the
ibigay muna sa iyo,
opportunity.
yeah, ay mag-hi muna tayo kay VP Franklin, no? Ayan na siya, oh. Show face reveal naman diyan. Yan, kasi tutulungan mo siya. Ayan na siya. Hello. Ayan, VP Franklin, hello sa iyo. Magandang hapon. Magbago ka ng ano nung yung iyong background at
Sige, sige. Sige. Okay.
habang nagdi-discuss si VP Zaidi. So, okay, take it away.
Okay.
All right. I'll be sharing my screen to provide more context on what are these CIIs. Pa-confirm na lang, madam, kung kita na ating screen. All good. So yun po na. Again, good afternoon everyone. Magandang hapon sa lahat. I'm not sure but hopefully may energy pa ang lahat. And again, thank you Ma'am Ruby on this opportunity to share updates and information with our friends in the industry and to enable the public to grow and push their interest and career towards cybersecurity. Kagaya nga na nabanggit kanina, no? They are interested. So hopefully this discussion will also be able to help you appreciate more yung ano ba meron sa cyber. Also, kanina nga sa intro namin ni Ma'am Ruby, allow me to welcome everyone this year's Feb Ibig Month. Yes, it's Feb Ibig Month once again. So people are talking and planning saan sila next week, what to give, where to go, saan tayo kakain, saan tayo pupunta. But before that, let's revisit a fundamental aspect of Feb Ibig. Diba? When we say Feb Ibig or Pag-ibig, the fundamental aspect is yourself. Sabi nga nila, to love others, you must first love yourself. O, diba? Self-love ika nga. But before we can give yourself to others, we need to ensure tayo muna ay handa sa lahat ng posibilidad. Secured, na kaya natin tumayo, ano man na mangyari. So speaking of secured, for us individuals, isa din ito sa priority natin in the cyber realm. We need to be resilient, maging matibay at matatag. This enables us to be more present and available to those who deserves us. So anyway, I know everyone is excited for this session, so I don't want to talk too much. regarding this Ibig and maybe tackle already yung ating topic for today. Hopefully, everyone is still energized, kaya pa, and hopefully, kung sa iba naman, makatulong naman na magising at mabuhay ang interest sa cyber with this deck. So as shared by Ma'am Ruby, I am Zaidi, or Mark Zaidi Sardon, one of the enterprise and solutions architects sa Trends, one of the leading systems integrator and value-added reseller in the country. So on my term, we were fortunate that in the past decade, we worked with various organizations, including those from the Philippine national agencies, local and multinational organizations to help develop and secure their ICT infrastructure, as well as help capacitate them in various cybersecurity domains, especially when I worked with the USAID. There were also opportunities na nakapag-train tayo, nakapag-design and implement on various projects for the country na malaki yung scale in terms of economic and impact. So for today's session, we'll connect the organizational resilience to the national resilience. Ano ang halaga ng bawat isa sa kabuuan ng ating bansa, and show why securing critical information infrastructure is a frontline mission, not just for the government, but for many organizations and individuals. So I'll keep this practical and short, what CIIs are, what the risk they face, and what can we do starting now. Shall we begin? I think our topic for today is very timely. Kanina nabanggit natin mayroong parating na bagyo sa Mindanao and Visayas area, and we hope you guys will be safe. But it is very timely in relation to recent conversations natin dito sa kwentuhang cybersecurity. As the 2026 entered, and in the past few weeks, we tackled the evolution and growing concern regarding sale, share scam by Police Colonel J. Guillermo, major trends to look out for in 2026 from our very own chairman, Mr. Angel Redoble, and the invisible border and staying safe in a world where everything is connected, shared by our various speakers. So last week also, napaka-inspiring, wherein we were introduced and had a discussion with Commodore J. Tariela from the Philippine Coast Guard, wherein he discussed the importance of understanding the West Philippine Sea and basically informing us on the intricacies and complexities in engaging entities outside of our domains, as well as how conflicting minds can affect nations as a whole. So that affects us as well in the cyber realm. So for today, let's begin our session with that one keyword, and that is resilience. Sabi nga ni Google, the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness, or the ability of a substance to spring back into shape. Back in the college days, sabi namin, waterproof kami. Papasok kami kahit may bagyo. Kahit may ulan, may exam kami. Kahit nag-cancel na ang mga kapitbahay schools namin, papasok kami. Joke lang. That's persistence and dedication. For our case, Filipinos, sabi nga nila, nasanay na tayo sa baha, sa iba't ibang klase ng sakuna, naging normal na din sa atin ang masalanta. Naging resilient na yung pag-uugali natin. Pero for companies and organizations, that can mean another thing. So for today, siguro napaisip kayo, why resilience? Ang topic natin is securing the front lines of our CIIs. This is because in planning and design, we need to begin with the end in mind. What is our desired state? So we can understand and define the steps towards attaining that aspiration. Also for our case, is we need to understand that cybersecurity is never, ever the end goal. Cybersecurity is not an aspiration for our companies and organizations. Our goal is resilience. Cybersecurity is our enabler towards that resilience. So, wag nating ipilit na sasabihin natin ng end state natin, makabili tayo ng firewall, makapag-deploy tayo ng SD1, SASE, XIM, whatnot. It is only the enablers for us. And it's just part of the technology. So sabi nga natin, it's always people, process, technology as key priorities. So that's our reminder for today. So in terms of in every organization, especially those still on the process of digital transformation, hindi na lang business continuity ang pinag-uusapan, or by meaning keeping essential business operations running during unexpected disruptions. Ngayon, kasama na din sa usapin na yan, sa mga disruptions na yan, ang mga cyber aspects. Pag nag-down ng server, pag nag-down ng website, hindi connected ng ating opisina. So those are now part of the business continuity considerations. Hindi na lang bagyo, hindi na lang lindol, at sunog ang pinaghahandaan ngayon. Also, ang usapin natin na ngayon sa industriya ay when or kailan. Hindi na ngayon pagalingan mag-defend. Yes, it's still advisable to protect your infra para less yung occurrence ng downtime, but it is also important to emphasize and consider now sa cybersecurity is yung resilience or yung availability. So kailangan din lagi tayong handa kahit we have the best of the best, pag may nagkamaling tao or individual or may maling configuration, wala din ang lahat ng yan. So kaya dapat in cybersecurity, we have and we need to address, practice isa pang framework, the PICE-RL or the PICE-RL framework. At kasama na dito ang kakayahang i-identify, contain immediately, eradicate properly, and of course, recover. So quick example here is pag nagka-ransomware incident, it's not just about data loss sa mga businesses natin. It's also considered now as probably a service downtime, as safety risk, or impacting to the trust and image of the company. Lalong-lalo na dun sa mga listed organizations. And unfortunately, ngayong panahon na to, napaka-rampant na mga nagpapakalat ng malicious information, trolls, and the likes. So mas mahirap na magkamali kasi masyadong madaming magaling sa social medias and other platforms in terms of putting malice or putting wrong information towards an organization. So hence, many organizations are now very familiar with the ISO 2022-301 or the Business Continuity Management System. So it's a familiar backbone for business leaders, and it's not just purely documentations. It's a management system that forces everyone to have clarity. What must stay up, for how long, and how do we recover? So kasama nga, pag nagkaroon ng sunog, nagkalindol, ano ang dinedefine natin na RTO, RPOs, ano yung critical assets, alin ang hindi critical assets. So doon na yun pumapasok. So also, during these assessments, ina-identify na natin ano yung mga hazards to the company. Yun bang pagtatayuan ng opisina is flood prone, malapit sa daanan ng bagyo, how often do we experience blackouts, and doon kino-consider yon during these assessments and preparations. But for all of this is mainly on the organizational level. Per company ang consideration. Posibleng yung company A sa bank A ginagawa ito, and probably ginagawa din ng another bank. But then again, pag ginawa ba ng bawat isa, it will affect them as a whole, or how will it affect the broader perspective or yung kabuuan ng isang bansa. So sabi nga natin, when critical organizations are disrupted, society feels it in minutes. Now, let's look at the grand scale. I know madami na sa inyo nag-post na lumindol ba? Ramdam niyo yun? Mga post sa Facebook before, no? Yung tipong mas nalaman pang may lindol dahil may nabasa akong Facebook page. Dahil instead of naramdaman mo yung actual, mapapress ka, meron pala. So for some kasi like me, minsan hindi ko din ramdam, nalaman ko lang sa social media. And for some naman, you also post, yung halimbawa nagkaroon before ng down si Facebook, down yung Messenger, nagpo-post kayo sa Twitter or sa X. Nung mga previous years naman, nag-down yung teams, o uwian na. Gano'n naman yung mga post natin. No? So, pag nag-down yung banking apps, hindi makapag-send, or yung magbabayad ka na sa restaurant, ikaw yung taya, tapos down daw yung QR code. So, di ba, nakakahiya. But those are the instances na pag may down yung isang organization, madami ka agad yung naapektuhan. Ramdam ng society yung impact or yung distress na meron sa isang organization na yun. Though probably, yung mga examples sa nabanggit ko yun may be trivial comparing to these two instances. So on the left is the CNN business publication on Japan's largest port hit with ransomware attack, and on the right is BBC's publication regarding the Colonial Pipeline System map. So I'm not sure anyone familiar with these attacks from our participants. Maybe you heard, maybe you read, or maybe really not at all. No? So nonetheless, let's share some insights dito. No? And then doon natin ma-identify paano naapektuhan yung isang organisasyon na naramdaman ng nakararami. So Port of Nagoya, ito po is isang port sa Japan. The busiest port in Japan by cargo volume. So kung gaano kadami yung containers, yung mga 40-footer, 20-footer na pinaprocess nila on an annual basis. Parang yung kung sa Metro Manila, yung nasa may pier, sa Cebu, yung sa may pier area din. So that's their biggest. So sa atin, I think either Batangas or Manila at ang biggest sa atin, I'm not sure. But for them, it's Nagoya. So what happened is that the port of Nagoya was hit or was crippled by a ransomware attack. So from one of their workstations, nakarating yung ransomware, the malicious actors were able to get access and cripple the central container terminal system, or basically the platform kung saan nila ginagamit, minomonitor, tinatrack yung bawat pasok, labas ng mga shipments, and probably including yung movements ng mga barko sa dun sa paligid ng port. So for those familiar sa maritime navigation, napaka-critical yung visibility sa isang pier, kasi maliit na magkakamali, hindi yan kagaya ng kotse na pwedeng magpreno kaagad, stand still sa isang pwesto lang. Ang mga barko mahirap yung i-navigate. So if the system is down, walang makakagalaw, walang ports or walang crane na makakapag-pick up, load and unload ng mga services. In a way, down yung operations for 2 days. So 2 days lang naman, basic lang yan. But then again, let's think about the impact. Ano yung nangyari? Food deliveries were stopped, hindi nakarating, may mga nabulok na pagkain, either import or exports kasi naipit sa port. May mga sasakyan, may mga critical components, etc. na hindi na i-deliver on time. So nagka-delay, nagkaroon sila ng chain reaction, not just to the port, but again, to everyone, to almost all organizations na gumagamit ng port na yun. So sila, ramdam ng marami yung nangyari sa isang organization. For the US, Colonial Pipeline, so siguro I use this image kasi first time ko din siyang na-visualize. No? So it's on the roughly east coast, southern east coast, covering yung states from Houston, Texas, all the way to New Jersey. So medyo mahaba lang naman yung coverage nila, and napakadaming states na covered. So it's basically mahabang tubo, kagaya sa atin, very familiar sa news ngayon yung publication about how we are getting our gases from the Malampaya plant sa West Philippine Sea, no? Kasi may nakabaon na tubo under the sea all the way to the processing plant para may process yun. So for here, meron silang nakabaon na tubo across the states, various states and USA, para may deliver naman yung gas or yung mga services na yan dun sa mga gas stations per location. So similarly, it was hit by a ransomware attack. So this happened in May 2021. And basically, the malicious actors were able to shut down the IT systems and halt the pipeline operations temporarily. So altogether, not just the IT, but also the pipeline operations. So yung pagpapadala ng langis mula sa source to the destination, napigil nila yon. So yun yung nangyari. In a way, this pipeline carries roughly 45% of fuel consumed on the East Coast. So ganun kalaki. So what happened? Siyempre, nagkaroon ng kakulangan ng supply, automatically lipad ang cost. It's always the balance between supply and demand. So they were able to retrieve or regain access to their infra by paying the malicious actors. So these entities and these events are very publicized naman. Very good ang publication, so you can just Google Port of Nagoya and Colonial Pipeline and you can read through them. Also, cyber breaches in 2022, 2025, napakadami din. Based on the regulations ngayon, changes in the regulations, companies or some organizations now are mandated to publicize and notify their stakeholders pag nagbe-breach sila. So yan din yung mga cases na nakita natin on a quick Google search. So yan yung mga cases na in a way, isang organization lang, feeling mo ikaw lang yan. But then again, the effect was felt by thousands and thousands ng stakeholders ninyo. Though indirectly, hindi mo man ginusto yun, but then again, the ripple effect was felt and affecting adversely to other organizations and individuals. So pag ganitong levels of impact, their downtime can affect thousands and they are critical or vital to the masses. It gave birth to the term CI, critical infrastructure. But for our case, we will focus on the CII as it relates to cyber, kung saan dumadaan yung information na part ng CI organization. So these organizations play a vital role in our society, and we are not just talking about IT. We're talking about life, critical services rendered by these entities. So yun din, something to consider. Those entities outside, yung mga na cite natin examples, they are not mainly government-owned. Lalo na sa atin sa Pilipinas, some are private operators or partners. So hindi lahat ng ito, CII organizations, will be falling only under the government sector. Many in our country are also part of the private sector. So sila yung mga service providers natin. We will not name names for now, but hopefully we are clear on who or how can you categorize yourself or an organization as a CII. So for the Colonial Pipeline, the breach was done on their IT infra, but they were able to affect the operations, the critical infrastructure through the IT infrastructure. So samely to the Port of Nagoya. So nagiging ganun na kasi yung effects ng mga attacks ngayon. It's not just attacking. The attacks are not just purely towards the servers, not just towards the data and files. Lalong-lalo na sa mga malicious or state actors, ang targets talaga nila is to cause harm or affect the businesses, something like that. So to address this and acknowledging all of these growing needs and risk, our national government, as led by the DICT, has established and updated our National Cybersecurity Plan as empowered by the Executive Order number 58, series of 2024, assigned by our President, Bongbong Marcos. So please take time to read the NCSP. It's publicly available. You can just Google NCSP 2023-2028 and you will immediately be given a PDF link to read on the document itself. So based on the document or based on the NCSP's definition of CIIs, these are consist of information process and information communications technology which form part of the operation of a critical infrastructure. So yun din na-mention natin kanina, no? CIIs, which are usually private enterprises and government agencies, and some instances including LGUs. Whereas critical infrastructure are a set of systems and assets that are essential to the nation, such that any disruption of their service can have serious impact on national security, economy, social well-being, and citizen safety. Again, we will not name names, but who are CIIs or typical sectors kung saan nag-ooperate ang mga organizations na to? We can immediately identify top of mind, sino naisip ninyo pag sinabi nating energy and utility. Sino ang nagbibigay ng power towards the capital region. But we need to identify, hindi porke power provider is an immediate CII. There's a different impact. Pag yung utility provider ba, halimbawa lang, for example purposes, pag nag-down ba ang electric utility sa Batanes, will it be considered as a CII or a CI, critical infrastructure? How will it affect the nation? Will it affect the nation as a whole? But what if yung nasa Metro Manila ang nag-down? What if yung nasa Metro Cebu ang nag-down? Will it affect the general masses? So we need to ensure that we do understand and acknowledge those considerations. The idea here is that national scale yung effect nila. Telecommunications and internet service providers. So in a way, dito naman sa space na to, ang kinaganda, may alternatives na. Madami sa organizations natin are running on redundant service providers. But then again, pag nag-down yan, anong alternative means of communications natin moving forward? So yun ang mahalaga i-consider natin. Sa banking and financial services, pag nag-down ba yung co-op namin sa probinsya namin, will it be affecting the nation? But what if yung big blue bank ang nag-down? Ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon ba ng gulo kasi magagalit yung mga tao, hindi nila ma-access yung pera nila? So those are the things that we need to consider. Pag nag-down ang port sa Boracay versus nag-down ang port dito sa Cebu and Metro Manila. So those are the things that we need to consider in identifying the CIIs. So no, wala po tayong any publicized reference kung sino ang mga CIIs. You can clearly read that from the NCSP. They have clear mandates on how to identify and who should be managing the communications and policies in relation to them. But here, we will be tackling them to give insights and information to everyone. So again, the key message here is in CII, availability often outranks confidentiality, and decisions must balance safety, operational constraints, and security. So hopefully we're clear on that. So high availability expectations, downtime is a public incident. So pag nag-down yung kuryente natin, though some may regenerator, but then again, how will it affect the livelihood of the masses? When I was in high school, the entire province namin, I think 2 months or 3 months kaming walang kuryente dahil sa bagyo. So those instances, ang daming tao na apektuhan. But then again, it's not a single entity kasi. Napakadaming entities nun. So those are the things na kailangan natin consider. So threat actors, including criminals and state-aligned groups, ang typical entities na nagta-target sa mga organizations na ito. So what are the threats and risk to CIIs? So just to reemphasize, they're just like any other organization. They are prone to the usual attacks like ransomware, DDoS, supply chain compromise. Though we can say that the techniques may be the same, but we can say that the actors targeting this organization are more sophisticated. inform, and capabilities. Like capabilities are at a different level, ika nga, no? Including their arsenal of tools. They sometimes, or majority of them uses bots or army of bots, ika nga, no? And mainly driven or guided by malign intentions such as those related to geopolitical issues, manipulation of the market, and or at times to cause terror. So maybe you have observed some organizations, kung meron sa tayong part of the audience ngayon, from the organizations na probably from the government, maybe you have observed some certain spike of attacks from certain nation state. This is widely publicized din naman sa atin, no? Based on recent incidents, nagkakaroon ng spike and really targeted yung attacks na ginagawa sa ating mga infrastructure. Disruption, it can equate to safety risk. Halimbawa, yung hospital nawala ng kuryente, maaaring mawala ng buhay yung mga pasyente nila. Sa transportation, sa tren, pag nag-down ng MRT, what could happen? But then again, those could be isolated and may not be considered as CII. But the risk and hazards to them are mostly similar in form. So, sabi nga natin, resilience is built before the incident. During the incident, you only execute. So now that we understand CIIs, what can we say about protecting them? So going back to the PICE-RL framework, remember that the first letter is P, and that meaning is prepare. It is done prior to any incident nor any alert occurring. Prepare involves establishing the necessary tools, policies, procedures to handle a security incident before one actually occurs. So for some key preparations na pwede i-consider dito is to establish a computer security incident response team, CSIRT or a CERT, kung alin yung better term sa inyo. So in a way, this organization or a team is the core team including analyst, yung from the SOC natin, yung mga analyst natin, including our IT staff, our legal, our human resources, and public relations. In a way, any disruption, every stakeholder in your organization must know their role, what to do. Meron na kayong organizational playbook and runbooks. Not just within the IT, not just within the SOC. It should be an organizational playbooks and runbooks. Ano ang sasabihin ni legal? Ano ang sasabihin ni PR in any incident in case of a breach? So those things dapat meron na. Lalong-lalo na ngayon, for one, we have the DPA wherein everyone is mandated after a breach. We need to inform within 72 hours yung mga stakeholders natin. So during prepare, just like a CSIRT or CERT, we define the roles and responsibility of members of the business continuity team. And again, mentioned policies and playbooks dapat magawa natin. Monitor, implement monitoring, detection, and of course, remediation tools and capabilities. But more importantly, we need to continuously perform our risk assessment, perform and establish our communications plans, train and conduct drills. We need to secure our backups and goal of preparation. So to ensure the goal of preparation is to ensure that the organization can quickly detect and respond to an incident, minimizing the damage and ensuring swift recovery. So yun ang pinaka-target natin na gawin to protect our organization and especially our CIIs aspect. So what are the means and ways? One of which as well is to adopt an industry and globally accredited standard and practices such as the ISO 2022-3001, wherein it helps and advises on how to ensure continuity of critical services. It advises on how to reduce downtime and financial loss or enabling for faster and more coordinated response during disruptions. It guides and helps organizations to strengthen resilience with repeatable, internationally recognized management system, and also guides organizations to clearly classify the roles, decision paths, and escalation procedures. So it's a well-known best practice na dapat ginagawa and ina-adapt ng mga organizations, but it's not always fit to everyone. So some organization may be amenable to adopt 2022-301. Some may prefer alternatives, but then again, we need to ensure that we consider adopting best practices and frameworks and practices sa ating organization. Another thing is to, as mentioned kanina, is to integrate CERT and CCERT to our business continuity plan. As part of the NCSP, it is clearly indicated there on how are we going to identify the structure of the entire nation's CERT or Computer Emergency Response Team with a clear separation from the defense and the civilian and private sector CERT areas. So let's end the era na fire drill, earthquake drill na lang ang pinapractice natin at ang incident drills ay contained lang sa security teams. So dapat hindi na lang laging ganun. Dapat ang mga tao natin, lalong-lalo na yung mga key stakeholders natin, are aware and properly skilled in terms of their CERT and CCERT functions. Yung drills natin should also now include incident response drills. Could be a form of tabletop, could be a form of different means and functions. And also, as mentioned, hindi lang SOC people, not just the IR or the incident response people. Dapat kasama dyan ang HR, dapat may representative ang communications officer, ang public relations officer, ang legal, ang DPO, at syempre ang leadership. Incident response should prioritize that the business impact analysis is critical. So lahat yan, dapat lahat informed para mas maging mabilis ang decision make points natin and overall recovery capabilities. Though not all organizations need a large team, what they need ay clear yung roles ng bawat isa, may maayos na established na steps and guidelines sa bawat incident, as well as alam ng bawat isa yung responsibility nila sa bawat instances on an cybersecurity incident. In terms of technical controls, of course, nothing special. No specific control, no specific technical control can ever secure us 100%. Kahit yun nasa top rightmost ng Gartner is not 100%, even for CII organization. But best practices still applies for prevention and remediation. Siyempre, yung basic pa rin natin, nag-apply pa rin tayo dyan. Segmentation, especially for IT and OT segments. Nagkakaroon tayo ng proper demarcation dapat dyan. But then again, the visibility should not be demarcated. We need to have an end-to-end visibility across the IT and OT para mas mabilis natin ma-identify kung nasaan at ano-anong aspects ng ating organization ang affected. Especially now that for those organizations na meron silang mga IoT, IIoT, CPS, or things like that, ay makonsider din sa operations natin because they are also now prone to attacks, lalo na sa mga connected sa internet natin. No? So, yes, segmentation should be between IT and OT, but visibility should be cuts across, especially yung capability natin sa asset management and vulnerability management across those areas and remediation. So segmentation reduces yung blast radius. Backups only matter if we can properly identify that they are clean and our restoration processes are fluid. Monitoring, if not all, kung hindi natin talaga kayang i-monitor lahat based on our restrictions, we must focus on our crown jewels. doon natin sila i-focus. Wag na natin i-monitor yung switches, etc. kung hindi naman sila. We can focus our resources to those that are really, really important. So, in terms of layered defense, kung hindi natin kayang mag-layered defense, let's ensure na meron tayong security dun sa mga priority items natin. Voucher vendors and providers, napakalalim na din ng supply chain risk ngayon, lalong-lalo na yung mga may interconnection, yung may integration, yung mga back-end or procurement systems natin. So zero trust framework, CIS controls, least privilege, all of those are still applicable to these CIIs in organizations. All are applicable and suggested. But then again, do your own risk assessment before you can prioritize your time and investment on an aspect. Ensure that you know your assets, you know your crown jewel, and which are some things that can be let go para yun yung ma-identify yung risk appetite and focus your resources to what's really important. So one of the top controls, as mentioned, it depends on the capabilities of the people. So kahit ang ganda, sabi natin kanina, kahit ang ganda-ganda ng firewalls nyo, ang ganda-ganda ng SIEM, SOAR, XDR, MDR, whatnot, kung yung tao nagagamit niyan hindi ready, hindi capable, or hindi handa sa mga pagkakataon na yun, hindi din natin maximize ang tools na yun. So people using and enabling these tools, platforms, and policies are clearly trained and capacitated to use and maximize their effectivity. So we need to always be ready. We need to train and exercise. So outside of the CERT drills kanina, we need to ensure that the SOC or IR teams are always ready. We have passive and passive exercises like the tabletop exercise. It could be a purely technical, it could be non-technical approach wherein kasama yung decision makers natin sa pagdedesisyon. It could be a technical simulation using restoring backups, isolating networks, doing a failover testing, etc. It could be a managed service like an MDR, a red teaming service. May mga ganun din tayo nakikita sa industry ngayon, no? Wherein hindi na lang basta-basta vulnerability assessment and penetration testing ang pinag-uusapan. Hindi lang VAPT. Ngayon is talagang breach simulation ang ginagawa. So, sabi nga nila, you don't rise to the occasion or you fall to the level of your preparation. So we need to ensure that these people, our playbooks and runbooks as well, our policies, practices and policies are sharp. Dapat laging capable to step up and execute what is needed. So madaming tools, madaming free tools, madaming freely available, merong services. So wala na tayo dapat excuse not to execute this type of practices and exercises. So another simple operating model is to connect the process from various groups within the organization depending on your viewpoint. Sabi nga nila, iba yung aspects or considerations ng operations versus sa IT team versus sa security team. So we need to ensure, pag sinabi ni cyber team or ng SOC team na nasa prepare tayo, alam ng operations niyo anong pinagsasabi niyo sa prepare stage. So it could be the BIA, asset criticality, playbooks, comms training. Pag sinabi ng incident response team na nasa respond stage tayo, anong ginagawa niyo? Dapat naiintindihan niya ng iba't ibang stakeholders sa inyo and you are able to communicate in a single language. Parang yung recent Netflix hit na Can This Love Be Translated? So kahit ang galing yung organization, kung iba't ibang languages ang pinag-uusapan niyo, hindi kayo magkakaintindihan, hindi niyo magagawa yung deliverables niyo. So we need to ensure that each stakeholders are connected to each other and understands the viewpoints and perspective ng bawat isa. Para yung process natin as we address, as we prepare, and as we address alerts and incidents, are aligned to one another. We can no longer act as a silo within our organization. And of course, for organizations as a whole, for the leaders of our for our leaders of organizations, we can always ask for help. We can always accept help. And of course, we can also help others. In the past, we have met various types of organizations. Some admitted na nag-uumpisa pa lang sila and they're seeking guidance saan ba dapat mag-umpisa. Some naman ay big and well-funded as in multiple endpoint security, multiple firewall levels. But then again, they acknowledge their gaps and explores ways and means to get better, be better in securing their infrastructure, our infrastructure. And many others naman are willing to help. We just need to find ways and means paano magtulungan ang bawat isa. We just need to be pragmatic and really focus on the goal. And that is resilience. So let's accept it. Not all organization has the capacity and capability to build their own resilience. Siguro yes, for the many, but for the some, maaaring hindi. Nonetheless, no organization, lalong-lalo na yung mga magfo-fall under CII or the big organizations na ramdam na nakakarami yung downtime nila. They shall not walk on their own or they should not operate on their own ngayong panahon na to. They have their respective regulatory bodies who can help them for their CERT development as well as yung resiliency. We have the DICT, the NCERT or CERT PH who can help them build and drill their CERT teams as well as guide them on how to build their own CERT capabilities. Meron na din third-party partners and service providers ngayon who can be consulted in your preparedness, on your maturity, and your drills. So napakadami ng help. We just need to be pragmatic and accept na hindi natin to kaya. Or yun nga, pag may nag-offer, we need to accept help kasi hindi naman tayo all and mighty, di ba nga? So also, recently DICT revamped their VAPT accreditation and as I understand, it is now referred as DICT Trusted Assessment Provider and you can check their portal on the list of accredited providers. So yung mga yon, pwede din kayo kumuha ng tulong doon sa mga organizations na yun to assess your infrastructure, your facilities, and so better make your assessments properly sa mga organizations na nandun and perform your due diligence. You need to ensure that you get the right partner or partners for the right job. So syempre may kanya-kanya expertise, may kanya-kanyang galing, but then again, you need to ensure that you make your own evaluations as well. Lastly, to share, we have also seen various bills in the higher and lower chambers to help address these gaps in our nations. But then again, we cannot wait for those to be enacted. We need to ensure that we are moving as an organization, lalo na for the CIIs, to be proactive kasi hindi naman tumitigil yung mga malicious actors in targeting, in scanning our networks, in scanning our assets and our information in the web, in the dark web, whatnot. So we need to ensure the continuity and our actions are always driven by our objectives in terms of resilience. Again, we should not wait for those things to happen. We need to start our own. We have the internet. We now have the capability to use AI. So many public resources and partners to help us on strengthening our organizational resilience. I said again and again, any chain is as strong as its weakest link. So for our case, each and every one of these critical infrastructure organizations are members of the chain. And if they break, if they go down, we can definitely feel the experience. And we can definitely feel and experience the effects to them. So we challenge our friends in the industry and ask you, have you performed your drills in the past? few months? When was the last time you have updated your procedures of the drills for 2026? What can you do to improve your RPO and RTO? Nonetheless, hopefully, may na-share naman tayo for today with the limited time that we have. And hopefully it was insightful. But before I end my segment, I'd like to encourage everyone to join our community, such as our Pix Pro. We have free membership and is readily available through our Facebook page. And also you can join our Philippines ISC2 chapter Viber group community and discuss and learn from our peers and friends in the industry to grow and learn towards cybersecurity. So, and again, that's it for me. Thank you for having me. I encourage you to connect and have more insightful discussions through LinkedIn. You can check me on LinkedIn and of course my official business mail as well. And thank you, Ma'am Ruby. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you, VP Zaid, for ang ganda ng iyong kwento tungkol dito sa critical information infrastructure. Okay, di ba? At parang feeling ko mga 3 hours, no? Kung po pwede lang, no, para i-discuss itong lahat ng ito. Anyway, maraming salamat sa iyo, VP Zaidi, for sharing that knowledge. At mag-shoutout lang muna tayo ng mabilis. Ang ating si Mr. Chair and our founding president, Mr. Angel Redoble, magandang hapon sa iyo. Ganon din si Christopherson Dizon Lagwatang, good afternoon. And si VP Shera, si Press Alan, at si Press Sherwin din kanina nakita ko. Magandang hapon. Si Darwin Tejerero, good afternoon. And si Aya Galicio, heart din sa'yo. Ayan. Si VP Franklin, nakita ko kanina. Baka meron siyang parting word sa ating mga Capex Pro. No? It's ready, 6:01. So, nandiyan ba si... Ayun.
I-extend ako.
Yeah, VP Franklin, mag-extend lang kami tayo ng konti, no, to get words from you.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, hindi ako prepared. But anyway, thank you, Sir VP Zaidi, for sharing your expertise. It's a timely topic, actually. With the growing number of cyber threats and increasing dependence on digital systems, discussions like this on critical information infrastructures are truly important. As we have seen in real life, no, may Japanese beer company last year na na-victimize ng ransomware. So, hindi makapag-order sila. So, yeah, it's timely. And thank you very much. And have a nice weekend, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Ang bago natin ibigay kay VP Zaidi for his final message, meron muna akong first and last question perhaps. Mula sa ating viewer from Executive Director Primo Redoble, what is your take, sir, on the AI-assisted Autonomous Security Operations Center that audits, recommends, and guards cyberspace of an organization?
That's for me, ma'am. Tama po. Yes. So basically, just like any insights when regards to and talking about AI, it depends on how are you going to utilize it. But we are seeing a very good aspect in terms of its utilizations in value, especially in the Security Operations Center. We are very familiar na yung mga analyst natin are mainly loaded of false alarms, malicious or alerts, false positives, etc. So for them, nagiging burden na talaga yung pag-evaluate and pag-triage ng mga alerts sa mga instances nito. So ngayon, we are observing various offerings by various providers globally, no, na ini-enable nila na magkaroon ng AI capability to machine learn and to address immediately or almost automatically yung mga false alerts na ito para yung mga agents natin or analysts natin can now focus mainly on real actionable information. Hindi na tayo basta-basta nagsasayang ng oras sa mga false alerts, and some are also now capable to automate remediation. But then again, subjective kung i-allow yung full automation kasi hindi lahat ng actions and responses should be automated. May mga cases na kailangan pa rin nating i-evaluate with human decision point yung mga remediation kasi baka tamaan yung operations or may tamaang services. So it's a very good point and a very good tool to use moving forward. And we are hoping na mag-evolve pa siya to help us better defend.
All right. Well, thank you. EB Primo, I hope that answers your questions. And ibabalik ko sa iyo, VP Zaidi, for your final short message to our viewers, to our Capex Pro.
Yep. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So just like what we say in Pix Pro, let's educate, elevate, and expand. This cybersecurity is not just for individuals and organizations. This is all about us. So let's help one another. And thank you again.
All right, thank you. Muli maraming salamat, VP Zaidi and VP Franklin. Sa susunod, makikita niyo silang muli to discuss another interesting topic about cybersecurity, anything and everything about cybersecurity and even beyond, no? So maraming salamat. At siguro para sa akin lang, it's yung resilience, parang ano yan yung mga emergency go bag natin. That it's nice to have it. And even if you don't think you need it, kasi minsan ganun tayong mga Pinoy,
Yes.
diba? So rather than needing it and realize na wala ka nun,
Yes.
diba? Okay. So maraming salamat sa inyo mga Kapix Pro. Hanggang sa susunod na Friday, magkita-kita tayo. At samahan niyo ako, VP Franklin and VP Zaidi, dito sa ating phrase na pangwakas. No? Yung iba ay nag-happy weekend na, no? At na mga nag-red wine na at nag-gimmick-gimmick na. Pero sa atin, sa cybersecurity, tayo ay happy lang. Walang weekend. Okay, maraming salamat sa inyo. Hanggang sa muli.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.